Hi, I'm Christopher Hein, and today we're going to talk about Everything Comes from Shomen Part 2. Last time we talked about transitioning Shomen into the Hito Emi position and what if they come around. Now we'll talk about transitioning to the edim position and what comes off of the edim position and why that is. This is probably not going to be a tragically long video. There will be 3 videos in this series though, talking about all the different parts, but I'm going to get Josh over here right now. We're going to talk about what happens from the edim position. Josh? Did you see I snapped on that one? I don't know. It's also going to be jarring from the beginning because in the I didn't, but. So, aside from my bizarre pointing habit here, so Josh and I are going to talk today about Shomenuchi, how everything comes from Shomenuchi, and we'll talk about the edim position. So just to recap real quick, in the last video series, we talked about using Sotomori and getting the Hito Emi position, and then his natural tendency to want to come around and get me, and then how I can atemi in that, and that leads us to Jijinage, and all kinds of other stuff can come from that. So that video is the first part of this. Okay, second part is edim, which is going to be my next major go-to in this, right? So meaning that I'm like this, and I want to shoot edim. Right, so 2 real ideas I'm going to have from this is I'm going to want to either continue to drive forward or to sweep Sotomori and see what's behind me and whatever different actions I'm taking, right? Okay, now my basic idea is simply the edim tai no hinko, which is this. I check, and I come in. Now an interesting thing about this is, and let's just go this side so we can get the front camera. If I don't check that elbow and I come in and Josh just bends his arm, I walk into his elbow essentially, right? So meaning if he just tried just a little bit, as I just walk through here, clunk, he's going to clock me in the head. So I have to check that elbow as I come through, right? Now when I check that elbow here, this gives me the potential for ikkyo, right? So all of our ikkyos, now it's switchback. So, so I come in here and he bends that elbow and I come here and I've got the elbow up here like this. If he wants to keep that elbow high and I can feel that I kind of taking his balance a little bit, I get ikkyo motte, right? So ikkyo motte comes from that attempting to get edim, and the edim doesn't come off because he's bending his elbow to try and catch me, and then when he does that, I shoot through and I can get the ikkyo motte. All right, now, if I stop that elbow from bending here, or I can't ikkyo motte him, then I can shoot through here and get the true edim. All right, now, if I wanted to just do something, right, so, and I think this is kind of outside the regular context of Aikido, not that it's wrong, but it's just, I just want to get him. So after I shoot that, I could do a really basic kind of edim minage, which is to grab him here and pull him off. And why I say that's not really in the Aikido context that I believe exists is because it's doing something extra that you maybe don't have to do. However, I'll also say that it's not truly out of the context because there could be a reason I need to pull him down. It's multiple attackers. If this guy hits the ground, then that gives me more autonomy with other people. So there are reasons that it could exist. But I'm saying that that would just be a choice I made. So I came back here and I grab him and I want to pull him down. Okay, now another edim minage can come off of that though, however, that as I enter in, Josh is right behind me, right? So he's turning right behind me, and if I allow that to happen, I'm going to get in a bad way, right? So what happens is, as I feel him doing that, I shoot my arm across, and look, as he's coming towards me, I keep going behind him, right? So this is the true edim minage like you see in like the Aikikai style, right, where we make this little circle, and a lot of people like to talk about like, show them your perspective, and I show him the dojo as I see it, and then I do my technique, right? And that's a big thing that people like to talk about, you know, and it's not my jam, but I understand why people do like to talk about it. But all that's happening is as I go back here, he's chasing me. And so I want to keep staying behind him, so I move towards him and keep my arm up, and that locks his chin in place, and it makes it real hard for him to come to get me. And that's like the really kino nagare flowy edim minage that comes because he's chasing me back there, right? Now, that to me is distinguished from something where I just go here and I break his balance because I want to pull him down, and I come through and I do the edim minage. So I'm trying to explain a situational reason for the edim minage as opposed to I just choose to inflict a technique upon him, okay? Now, understand that when I'm going this way, he will try to stop me by either shooting his arm high, like this, to come around and catch me, or shooting his arm low, like this, to come around and catch me, right? So his arm's either going to go here or here if he can't bend it in the middle, right? And he can't bend it in the middle because we get that ikkyo motte. So he's going to sweep around either high or low. If I stay connected to him and he sweeps high, then I still get my ikkyo omote. And in fact, I get it even better because he's really lifting his arm up, so I'll get it most of the time. So again, why Shomenuchi ikkyo is so important is because that situation, it'll come up again and again and again in a lot of different little ways. Okay? If he sweeps it low, we transition into a whole new set of techniques, and so that will have to be our next video, is where he's stopping me from making the edimi. But you can see that my choice to try to make edimi leads us to iri minages and ikkyos omotes again and again and again because of what he's doing as a response to my action. If he didn't do anything, then I would just shoot through, right? So if he has no reaction, I'd just do that and I would walk on to wherever I wanted to go this way, because that's apparently the direction I wanted to go, right? So that's the responses for the edimi. Next time we'll talk about the transitions out of failed edimis and failed sotomowaris both. I'm Christopher Hein, Joshua T. My Solana McDaniel is behind that camera right there, and she is Saturday Night Live, and that was some real stuff right there. All right, we'll see you guys in the next video.